This is Rizwan Syed for NRI News 24x7.com. We are at the office of Gera Builders in Pune and we'll be shortly speaking to Mr. Rohit Gera, who is the Managing Director of Gera Builders Pvt. Limited. Our talk will be about what is ethical buying and how Gera Builders is being a change maker in Pune. Mr. Rohit, can you share with us what is the right way individual should take to purchase a property in Pune, be it a land or a constructed property?
So I think most people are really buying constructed homes, so I'll spend more time answering
Sure.
that. I think the most important thing today is due diligence and homework which a home buyer needs to do. It's very easy for a developer to produce glossy brochures, and the challenge then comes on delivery. Now, unfortunately, given the current situation in the marketplace and the kind of challenges that developers are facing to complete projects, even some of the reputed names are facing challenges. We've seen this at a national level now. And therefore, I think the most important thing which a customer should do, apart from getting the title checked and all of that, is to actually visit the project, not just once, but at least 2 or 3 times over a 1 month period. Make sure that there is construction activity taking place on site, because it's no point getting a good discount and paying less and never getting your property. That's just the worst thing to end up doing. So if somebody is giving you a property free and there's no work going on, don't touch it, because you may be taking on some liabilities. So please make sure that the work is going on, do your due diligence, check up about the developer, visit some of their past projects and talk to the customers there. Eventually, what you should be looking for is a developer who is responsive to the customer's requests and needs in the future. That's the most important. These our buildings are all handmade, so there could be a problem. But as long as the developer is there to fix the problem, to take care of the issues in the long term, you're in an okay situation.
So, customers generally are not doing the right due diligence,
Yes.
as you confirmed. But then, is there any checklist that they can follow apart from visiting the location, wherein they can understand as to the property is really deal is really genuine, or there are some glitch in that?
So look, I think the easiest thing is first check which of the housing finance institutions have actually approved that property. Okay, for home loans, even if you don't need a home loan. What that does is each housing finance company does their own due diligence. So firstly, that's an important thing to know. Okay, that's a level one way if you don't want to spend your own money. You can appoint your own lawyer, right? You can also talk to an architect. You can ask the developer to say, please show me your sanction plans. Somebody may not want to give you those plans. You can say, okay, I'll bring the architect over and study the plans and say, okay, is this unit, what is in the sale plan, is it actually been sanctioned? Okay, because that today is the cause for tremendous amounts of pain as far as home buyers are concerned. And if you're going to, and most people today are taking loans, they're taking loans for 20 years. You're going to take a loan for 20 years and you're going to repay for 20 years, but you won't invest 1 month's EMI in getting sound legal and architectural advice. That please don't do that. Do these few kinds of checks. And firstly, if you're starting off with a reputed developer with a track record, most of the problems are resolved then at that time. If you're going with a fly-by-night operator, if you're going with somebody who's doing a project for the first time, check their track record, see what they've done so far, and accordingly you decide how much of your money and time you want to invest in checking and doing your homework. Because when there is a price difference between a reputed developer and a fly-by-night operator in the same location for a project side by side, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. And it is important, if you're going to buy the cheaper product, it could be for whatever reason, okay, including your budgetary constraints, then don't get suckered into that and end up not doing your due diligence. That's just the most important thing.
Now, this is one thing which the Indian customer typically is avoiding. They feel due diligence to be a pain
Yes.
more than a necessity. So, do you think this attitude of the Indian customer, specific to the Pune city, is it changing? Are the customers going in for this kind of a due diligence? Are they becoming more aware?
They are more aware, but unfortunately, I don't think that they're doing that due diligence which is necessary. Um, you're absolutely right. It's indeed an unfortunate situation. You're going to buy something which you're going to pay for the next 20 or 25 years, right? And I understand that people have tremendous aspirations when they buy a home, so they want to believe that glossy brochure, right? Our heart tells us we want to believe it, and therefore we convince our head to say kuch nahi hoga, let's go buy it. And I think that is where the head has to step in and say, fair enough, not without the homework, not without due diligence. It's that important.
So Rohit, speaking about the real estate properties in Pune, Gera Builders is definitely one of up and coming brands, and it is coming up with a lot of innovation.
Yes.
And the brand has a great value in the city of Pune today. It's one of the oldest brands. So, can you share some insights about what kind of a change maker Gera developers are positioned to be in Pune? You can talk about your projects and how are you promoting ethics in this business?
So, we do believe as a brand, innovation is one of our core values, right? And so one of the things where we were the first in the country to come up with is something called the 5-year warranty. Okay, so over 12 years ago, we started offering every home buyer in every project, home, office, any customer, a 5-year warranty on their product. Okay, it was not something verbal; it's a written agreement. It's signed and it's on stamp paper, which says that in case of any manufacturing defect, over a period of 5 years, we will fix it at our cost. Okay, we've been doing this for over 12 years, and I must say that the single biggest satisfaction and joy to us came when we saw the new Real Estate Regulatory Act. Okay, and that now makes it mandatory for every project that is registered under RERA across the entire country to give a 5-year defect liability period to every single customer. We've been doing this for 12 years, and so it gives us immense pride that this is something which now is mandatory for the entire industry to do. So that was one of so that's one kind of innovation. We look at innovation at two levels. One is innovation at the organization or at the product level, right? The big innovation. Warranty is one of that. Child-centric homes is another area of innovation. We also do a lot of small level innovation. And I'll talk about child-centric homes in a second. But small innovation, for example, is, everybody has experienced going into the shower in winter, okay, and the person before you left the shower head on the on the shower head, the water supply on the upper head, and you turn on the water lever and you open the lever and you get cold water coming onto you and you jump back. Okay. Now this practice of having the taps below the shower head started when the first mixers were brought in, when you can mix hot and cold water, and those used to be the unconcealed pipe, right? But the practice has been to then conceal those diverters right below the shower head. And we said, why should this be? Why can't we put the tap on the side wall and the shower head on the other wall, so that you come inside, you turn the tap, check the temperature, walk into the shower? So for us, innovation takes place at multiple levels, right? Basically, to us, innovation is how do we give the occupier of the property a better enjoyment of that property. In one of our other office buildings, in terms of small innovation, we looked at windows, and what we said is, this was an office building, and we realized that from a window you get light and ventilation, right? And we said, but there's no reason why light and ventilation should come in from the same window, right? So we had one set of fixed windows which didn't open, which would allow the light in. And we had openable windows in the duct, which was covered with louvers, where if you open it, you'd get the ventilation coming in. So, small things make big experiential differences. So we look at innovation at that level. I mentioned something, the child-centric homes that we're doing. One of the things that we realized is people are buying homes today much younger than they used to, but they're getting married and having children much later. So very often we find that people have just had kids or are just married and are going to have kids at the same time, which coincides with a home buying decision. So we said, why can't we have a product that caters to the needs of the aspirational young Indian family? When we studied it a little bit deeper, we realized that these young parents are going to great lengths to give their kids exposure to various things in the field of arts, sports, dance, dramatics, to their children, to allow their children to be the best that they could be, to give them the experiences and exposure that they never had. So young parents today are going to great lengths to do this. So we said, why can't we offer these same opportunities to the young kids within the housing project? So we tied up with, we did a lot of focus group discussions. We talked to a lot of young parents. We got feedback from them. And after all this feedback came in, we went out and we spoke to a few people. So today at our child-centric projects, we have the Shankar Mahadevan Music Academy. Okay, we have a Shamak Davar Dance Academy. We have a Vishwanathan Anand Academy, which coaches the kids on playing chess. We have Mahesh Bhupati for tennis, right? So we have all of these academies. We have Lilek Dubey for dramatics. Okay, we have Anil Kumble for cricket. We've also tied up with the Dale Carnegie Institute for the older kids to teach them public speaking, personality development, right? Leadership. So these are things which we felt that today's parent wants their child to experience. We found out they're spending hours and lakhs of rupees a year on sending their kids to all these classes. Why not offer them these kind of facilities with the best names in the business in their own project? Why not give their kids the opportunity to truly outdo in the home environment? And talking about outdo, that is the creed of our brand. And we do believe that everything that we do, every individual, whether he's an employee in my organization or he works anywhere, we're all trying to outdo in some way or the other, right? Whether it's by way for a promotion, whether you're an artist, whether you're a child in your school exams, or you're learning to play tennis. So I think outdo, and to us, outdo is you competing versus yourself. So when we look at outdo, and we link it with innovation, right? Then the whole idea becomes, how do you do something better versus yourself so that you can deliver a better experience for your customer into the future? I'll talk about two other things in the field of technology when you talk about innovation. So we have something called Gera World, which is our own app. And what we do with that is, every customer who buys from us downloads the app, and you can raise any kind of issues with us on the app itself. And it goes all the way till the warranty. So today, for example, if you have an issue with your home, and you need a warranty issue to be raised, you can raise the issue on the app. You can take 5 photographs of the issue. Okay, we'll schedule the appointment on the app. Because you've provided us the photographs, we don't need to send somebody to go diagnose the problem. Now in 80% of the cases, we are able to diagnose the problem from the photographs. So we don't have to do 2 visits to the customer's house. We do 1 visit, 1 time, go and fix it, right? We also have a separate app internally for the organization for our overall quality control, which then links to my engineers, my quality control engineers, as well as my contractors. So contractor bill payment is linked to his resolving of quality related issues which are generated through the app itself. Again, this is innovation. We haven't found these kind of technologies available. We've created it for ourselves. And all this goes along with the outdo and the innovative spirit that we have at Gera to continue to raise the standards, which we do from our customer point of view. so that we're able to deliver a better product and a better experience to our end customer. So the last thing which I'll talk about is something which we do very actively and we're very passionate about is community creation. So we don't view ourselves as really just developers of housing societies, but we view ourselves as creator of housing communities. So we create events, we do things where we believe that people in today's world, the world is becoming increasingly isolationist. We are more in touch with our phones, and we're in touch with people through our phones than through actual human interface and contact. But just because phones have come in and the smartphone has come in has not reduced our need for social interaction. So, but people's timings are all off. You know, people are working night shifts, day shifts, all of that. So we actively go ahead, we do events as far as our communities are concerned, inter-project as well as intra-project. So we did one event, for example, where we had Shankar Mahadevan's Academy coaches come, and we ran a singing competition where people actually performed before Shankar Mahadevan, right? But the rule that we made was a family could not have its own team. Okay, if you want to participate, we would mix and match people so that you get to know some new neighbors. And we did that, and they came for 2 or 3 days for practice, and they went out at the end of the event with new friends from within the same community. And I think those kind of things are so critical in today's world, and we view that as as part of our role. And I do believe that that too is a very innovative way of doing things. So I think these are some of the things that we do in terms of a customer experience point of view, experiencing the service that we bring to the table, experiencing the product. So innovation for us is something which is part of the DNA, and we love it. And I think that therefore you said that our brand is very strong, and it is because of that. It is because of these kind of things. It is because of this kind of an approach that we bring to the table. And the other thing which you asked about is transparency and trust. And I think the most important aspect is, um, you have to go behind and you have to go beyond the written word. Okay, people buy homes from us. They don't read the agreement, right? They should, right? I wish they did, but many times they don't. And then they come to us and say, but you know what, we bought from you, but we expect that it should be like this. Right? Regardless of what's written, even it doesn't matter if it's written in this manner. We expect it should be like this. And that's when we step in and say, sure, you know what, it's a fair request. And you go ahead and do it. So, and that's how you then go out and build trust, transparency. Okay, I'll give you one example. We were doing a project, and it was 5 o'clock in the evening on the 7th of May. Okay, not this year, the year before. I received one of the guys from my legal team came in and he said, long face, we received a stop work order from the court for that project. I said, okay. My first call was to the execution team, to the construction team, and said, stop the work. We received this email, this correspondence at 5 p.m. By 8 p.m. that night, okay, we had sent out an email communication to all customers of the project, okay, to transparently let them know this is transpired, okay, we believe we are in the right, these are the steps that we plan to take, and we will keep you posted as soon as we have further details. The next date of hearing that the court has given is such and such date in June. Till then, we have to stop the work of the project. Should you want to come and inspect any of the documents based on what this stop work has been issued, we are happy to share the same with you. Right? That stop work, it took 6 months for the court to lift that stop work. We lost only one customer who asked for a cancellation, and we said okay. And the reason he cancelled is he said, look, I need to move. This 6 months I cannot afford to wait. So we refunded him the money. All the others wrote back to us and said, we had full trust in you. We knew that it would prevail, you would prevail. And our trust has been proven right when the stop work issue has been lifted. So transparency of that sort is what is essential in today's world. the customer is extremely understanding. We have to trust them and be open with them. And that's the philosophy that we follow.
Well, I think it's been a pleasure to speak to you today. And Gera Builders, you not only buy a home, but you buy an experience and you buy a concept of living. That is what I would say about it. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thank you for your time.